I am A Moid, working as a fellow at Anveshi Research Centre, Hyderabad. I will be talking about MIM briefly. MIM means, as everybody knows, it's a short form of Majlis-E Ittehadul Muslameen, which is a political formulation that has its origin in the late 1920s. Actually, it started as a response to the existing Muslim situation by a group of concerned Muslims. What happened actually in the decade of 20 in the Muslim community was that Muslim community was facing a lot of sectarian conflicts in the decade. The Deobandis and the Wahhabis and Shias and Sunnis were fighting each other on various trivial issues. And this situation was not liked by a group of concerned Muslims who felt that Muslims are wasting their energies in unnecessary trivial issues. So they decided that these kind of mutual suspicions and conflicts and distrust is not good for the community, and something must be done to stop this trend. So they came forward to stop these tendencies among the Muslims of Hyderabad and formed a small group to address these issues, and which they named as Majlis-E Ittehadul Muslameen. In other words, it meant that they were offering a platform in which all the Muslim sects can come and participate and talk about the common problems faced by the Muslim community of Hyderabad at that time. So this experiment started with this name, Majlis-E Ittehadul Muslameen, which means that Majlis means a group or a party, Bain means between Muslims. So it was a party which was appealing to all the different sects of Muslims in Hyderabad and offering them as a common platform. From there they can talk about themselves and solve the existing problems of the community. So the journey started like this. And actually it was a social reformist kind of ideas they were inculcating in the beginning, and which they wanted to continue on this line. But they couldn't stick to this trend for a long time, because very soon they have to change their agenda, they have to change their trend and their policies. The things that forced them to do this thing was the growing nationalist movement, which was very much strong in the British India, and also started spreading its influences in Hyderabad also. And this was not just a freedom movement, but the constituent of this freedom movement, which was influencing the freedom movement, was seen as important factors that is going to have an impact on the Muslim community and also the Nizam state in general. Because freedom movement was asking for the Britishers to release India from their colonial power, colonial control. And there were many hints that Britishers are interested in giving power to the Indian nationalist leaders. And that was the point where everybody started thinking about the future of India, what is going to happen when the Britishers leave, and what is going to happen when the power is shifted to the Indian freedom fighters and different parties which are which they are fighting against the British. And this was the political perception of the situation, which has influenced the this particular group, which has come forward to form the first part of the Majlis, that is called Majlis-E Muslameen. And they slowly they realized within a very short time that Bainul Muslimin was not a correct word, so they shifted to the Majlis-E Ittehadul Muslameen. So they thought that just making a platform and offering a platform for the sects is not enough. So they should try to create a unity. Ittihad means unity. So they started having a vision of a unity between the sects, because sects were, as I said, were so varied from each other, fighting with each other so much. So they felt that this ittihad, the unity between the sect, is a very important need. So this ittihad became their vision, the vision that they want to achieve in Hyderabad among the Muslims. So this unity, achieving the unity, became their agenda, how to achieve this thing. And then slowly they started thinking about the growing political things which are happening in the British India and as well as in Hyderabad. Their first concern was when the Arya Samaj movement, which gained its ground in Hyderabad and started its influence in 1890s onwards, and in 1920s they became important part of Hyderabad. They came into conflict with the Arya Samaj in the beginning, because Arya Samajis were having their own agenda. They perceived the Nizam state as a Muslim-dominated state, which is not fair to the Hindus. They felt that their agenda in Hyderabad is to fight against this biases of Nizam state against the Hindus, the biases politically, economically and culturally, apart from other aspects. So they felt that they are into the Hyderabad in order to fight the Nizam state against their biased policies towards the Muslims, in favor of Muslims, which goes against the Hindu community. And they started campaigning against the Nizam state, criticizing the Nizam's policies and decisions, and started creating consciousness among the Hindus that Hindus are not being treated properly in Hyderabad state. So this was just the beginning of their whole turn, which was under the influence of the freedom movement. So here the Majlis-E Ittehadul Muslameen, which was not interested in the politics till now, started getting concerned with these kind of statements which are being issued by the Arya Samajis. So in 1932, they first gave a public statement denouncing one statement by Arya Samaji, which accused that Nizam state is pro-Muslim and benefiting only the Muslims, and it is not taking care of Hindus. It is not taking care of Hindus' economic interest, and as well as it is against the Hindu religion. So they issued a statement, and the Nizam government did not react, did not respond to this statement in a very strong way. And at that moment, the Majlis-E Ittehadul Muslameen felt that on the one hand Arya Samajis are attacking the Nizam government. On the other hand, Nizam government is taking it lightly. It's not taking it seriously. It's not responding at all. So they felt, in a way, these criticisms of Arya Samaj are directly on Nizam, but indirectly it's going to affect the Muslims, because Muslims are falsely accused of being the biggest beneficiary of the Nizam state. So they thought that they will come up with a response to these allegations, and they presented their version of facts, what they think about Nizam state. And in this statement, they expressed that how Nizam state treats the Muslims, and tried to show and prove through their facts and figures that Muslims are equally in bad shape as the Hindus. And they said in the ownership of lands, in the jobs, and in trade, and in the professions, in arts and crafts, and in various other things, they tried to show that it is the Hindus which are having the upper hand rather than the Muslims. And only the top the ministries and the top civil servants, they accepted that it is dominated by the Muslims. And whereas the most of the middle class and almost all of the lower category jobs in the city as well as in the districts and the villages are completely owned by the Hindus. And like that, they showed about the lands, and they showed about the trades, how Hindus are completely dominating the trade, and Muslims are, since they think that they themselves are jagirdars, landowners, so they were not into the cultivation, they were not into the trade, they were not into the menial jobs. So their source of income was very limited to the land. So these are the facts and figures through which they tried to prove that Nizam state is not in favor of Muslims at all. Rather, Muslims are, except the upper classes, the general Muslims are in bad shape, as bad as any other Hindus or any other community persons. And then through this statement, they tried to show that it's the attacking of Arya Samajis on the Muslims and on the Nizam state is false, is not true, and it is going to affect the Muslims in a negative way, because with this propaganda of Arya Samaj, it's likely that Hindus will get affected and start disliking the Muslims and the government. So they felt a threat in these kind of developments. So this was the beginning of them coming into conflict with the Arya Samajis and with the Hindu Maha Sabhites and with the right-wing Hindu groups who were trying to look at the Nizam state and the Muslim situation in a very biased and very unhealthy way. So this was the beginning of the Majlis responses in the earlier stages of its existence.